Good morning and welcome to our September 19th, 2023 meeting of our Milwaukee Common Council. This meeting of the Common Council will now come to order. Will the City Clerk please call the roll?
Alderwoman Pratt.
Here.
Chambers.
Excused.
Rostov.
Here.
Bauman.
Here.
Westmoreland.
Here.
Cox.
Present.
Rainey.
Here.
Zamaripa.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Borkowski.
Here.
Spiker.
Here.
Stamper.
Here.
Perez.
Excused.
Alderman Chambers.
Chambers is present. Good morning, and I would ask the Common Council to please rise with me and observe a moment of silence in honor of our President, Jose Perez's father, who passed from his life over the weekend. Please join me in a moment of silence and reflection to support our brother. Thank you. Would you please stand again for the Pledge of Allegiance, to be followed by an additional moment of silent meditation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are there any corrections to the Common Council Journal of Proceedings for the regular meeting of September 1st, 2023?
There are no corrections to the journal.
There being no corrections, the minutes of this meeting stand approved. Alderman Spiker now moves that the Common Council resolve itself into a committee of the whole for the purpose of the receiving of a presentation, and hearing no objection, so ordered. It is now my honor and pleasure to welcome Mayor Cavalier Johnson to the Common Council chamber to make his presentation relative to his proposed executive budget for the year 2024. I'd like to remind everyone that there will be no opportunity for public comment on the budget at this time. That will be reserved for the joint public hearing on the budget, which will be held in this chamber on October 2nd, beginning at 6:30 p.m. There will also be a special public engagement session to be held here in City Hall in room 301B beginning at 9 a.m. on Monday, October 16th. I'd also like to recognize our comptroller, treasurer, city attorney, and the budget director, along with many members of our cabinet and administration. We're pleased to have you in the Common Council chambers today. And with that, please join me in rising to welcome the Honorable Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
Madam Chair, honorable members of the Common Council, citywide officials, cabinet officials, others, thank you for being here with us this morning. Fulfilling my responsibility as mayor of the city, I present to you my 2024 municipal budget. The proposed plan and budget summary calls 2024 a pivot year. The previous trend of service cuts and draws on our reserves is behind us. Our new direction takes us on a path towards fiscal stability. Now, that's not to say that we're flush with cash. The revenue derived from the city's coming sales tax is dedicated to paying for new police officers, new firefighters, and closing out the city's pension system. We also need to remedy the undesirable past budget choices forced on us as we cobble together financial solutions. This includes renewed focus on our deferred capital investments, our employee compensation, shortfalls, and our diminished reserves. But before we get into the details of my 2024 plan, I want to talk about the budget that I am not presenting today. I'm not closing branch libraries. I'm not imposing furlough days or hiring freezes on our employees. I'm not closing firehouses. I'm not cutting police sworn strength. I'm not offering a budget that continues a spiral of declining services and growing desperation. And that's, yes, because of the bipartisan work we completed in Madison, along with the fortitude and the foresight of members of this council, we have a reasonable path forward. So for the first time in decades, we'll have an increase in state shared revenue. And for the first time in more than a century, we have diversified our tax revenue sources so that we're no longer only relying on the property tax. I want to take a moment to speak directly to the employees of Milwaukee city government. Over the past 2 decades, as fiscal pressures mounted, you've shared the burden as wages lagged, as benefits changed, and unpaid days were imposed. We've delayed workplace remodeling and scrimped on office supplies. Employees, I value your service, I value your dedication, and I value your patience. So yes, we're in the midst of compensation reviews throughout our operation so that our pay rates are adjusted to match the market. Employees, our direction has changed. The demands placed on you will ease, and my budget includes a modest, across-the-board pay increase for general city employees. I'm presenting a budget with a number of notable changes in city government structure and operations. Abandoned, foreclosed, boarded up houses in Milwaukee, they diminish our neighborhoods. They drag down property values and create major public safety issues. Buildings that are set to be raised, they need to come down. So in a proposal that I'm calling Raise and Revive, my budget doubles funding for demolition. And rather than just relying on outside contractors to do the work, a new team at our Department of Public Works will be added to the effort. To be clear, though, demolishing a neighborhood blight is not an end in itself. That's why I'm formalizing an interdepartmental team, Public Works, Neighborhood Services, City Development, to coordinate a comprehensive response. Because I want city government to prevent homes from deteriorating to the point of demolition, and if demolition is inevitable, to prioritize redevelopment that strengthens neighborhoods. Residents all across Milwaukee will see new investments in our roadways. My budget funds the popular high-impact paving program at the highest level ever, and will continue to invest in reckless driving reduction with physical changes to our streets. My budget also increases investment in green infrastructure by 33%. Often tied to road construction, which will both make the city more ecologically sustainable and beautify our neighborhoods. In the coming years, our efforts will green up Milwaukee. There's no higher priority of mine than increasing public safety. And we're making notable progress in reducing serious crime. Last year, numbers of both property crimes and violent crimes in Milwaukee went down. This year, positive trends continue with homicides and auto thefts down significantly in the city. I want 2024 and the years ahead to be safer and safer. 2024 budget that I'm submitting includes staffing increases in the police department and in the fire department. We're fully complying with this portion of Act 12, and to do so, we're asking for our Fire and Police Commission to boost its recruitment efforts. So continuous recruitment is now the norm. And to the greatest extent possible, our training classes will be full, and those classes must reflect the diversity of our entire city. Next year, our residents will see more firefighting resources, an additional paramedic unit, and additional fire engine as well. With the police officers we're adding, I want prompt responses to reported crime and additional efforts to keep crime from occurring in the first place. We're moving forward with organizational changes to our violence prevention work. A new Office of Community Wellness and Safety will incorporate the work that's currently underway in the Office of Violence Prevention. The importance of prevention is in no way diminished. We've got multiple simultaneous efforts to reduce violence. At the same time, the work of this department in promoting safety is a broader task. It requires an appreciation that community wellness, that neighborhood strength, that economic opportunity, that positive alternatives, and thoughtful guidance, they're all a part of the mix. The team at the Office of Violence Prevention is ready to embrace the larger vision that we're laying out. So in the new Community Wellness and Safety Office, which will be part of the Department of Administration, they will rise to the challenge. The other organizational changes included in the budget aimed at promoting oversight, efficiency, and teamwork, I'll highlight now. The Board of Zoning Appeals will administratively join the Department of Administration. Our plan is to move environmental health risk officers from the Department of Neighborhood Services to the Health Department to better align with the nature of the work. And our Early Childhood Program Director will join the reconfigured Office of Community Wellness and Safety as the office establishes its increased scope. As good ideas are advanced by members of this council, by city departments, and by objective outside analysis of our operations, city government should have a thoughtful champion to implement the best of these ideas. With that in mind, I'm proposing a new position of Innovation Director. The person in this new role will be empowered to lead discussions, to develop ideas, and maximize the city's participation in statewide innovation funding. I want a leader in this position who can overcome the bureaucratic impediments and prepare city government to meet the challenges we'll face in the future. In the coming year, we're modifying our work on street lighting improvements. Our new effort, I'm calling it Brightline, will redeploy federal money to upgrade streetlights with brighter LED fixtures. We'll make the changeover on tens of thousands of light poles that will accept the new lights. This is an environmentally responsible approach, saving significant energy. The new lights will be installed all across the city. The goal of Brightline is to improve this important infrastructure as well as to increase public safety in Milwaukee's neighborhoods. Brightline is a change from our previous plan that focused on antiquated street lighting circuitry. As our Department of Public Works has previously shared, market forces have left us with limited options in pursuing that approach. So we'll continue to upgrade the most troublesome circuits across the city, and we'll do that with city resources. Going forward, we will include contractors when that becomes feasible. Next year, as each one of us in this room knows, is an important political year, with both spring as well as fall elections that will determine office holders at every level of government. I've got confidence in our election commission and the departmental leaders who conduct elections. Their approach will work with diligence and with integrity. This budget assigns the resources they need to make sure that all the elections in 2024 take place smoothly. This budget invests in a number of programs that are proven and are necessary. For example, we're increasing the number of doulas in the Health Department's maternal child health program. The team there has supported mothers in the births of hundreds of children in Milwaukee, promoting healthy outcomes. We're also adding more than $1 million to the Office of Equity and Inclusion and the Office of African American Affairs. These offices undertake essential work that promotes fundamental fairness and opens opportunities, unlocking potential amongst residents that too often have been left behind. This budget devotes some American Rescue Plan Act funds to our operations. This is important in a number of ways. This money is key to putting our long-term fiscal house in order. It's part of our effort to free up resources so that we're back on track with our reserve funds, with employee compensation, and with capital investments. It's also important that we allocate and spend ARPA money in a timely manner so that we're complying with federal requirements around the use of those funds. I don't want to leave money on the table that we should be using to benefit our residents. My plan does include reserving $5 million of funds so that in the spirit of the ARPA Task Force approach, we can direct resources to resident-inspired projects and efforts that are deemed valuable. You'll see some changes in the 2024 capital budget as we slightly decrease borrowing for capital projects. Change you will see is the addition of cash financing for our capital needs. And here's why that's important. For many years, we have squeezed our capital investments. These are items that must be addressed, and this approach is a prudent path. An important measure of the fiscal health of the city is our bond rating, and by that measure, we've turned a corner. The direction is positive, but of course, to maintain that positive direction, we must keep on a responsible path. When I presented a budget to this council a year ago, my tone was quite different. Our prospects were worrying, our service cuts were inevitable, and our options were few. 1 year has made a world of difference. 1 year. So as we stay on a responsible course, we can look ahead to stability in our finances, greater confidence among city employees and our residents, growing assurance that city services that they need, that they expect, and that they deserve will be there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor Johnson. We look forward to working with you over the next few months. Thank you. And now to a very pleasant item of business. The Common Council this morning is pleased to honor retiring United States Postal Service City Letter Carrier Mike Booth, also known affectionately as Mailman Mike. Mr. Booth has served with distinction as United States Postal Service City Letter Carrier with the North Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive Post Office for 30 years. Residents in the northern areas of River West have come to know, respect, and admire him for his character and for his outgoing and caring nature. I now invite Mr. Booth to come forward, escorted by Alderperson Jonathan Brostoff. Please come to the front. And Alderman Brostoff. Alderman?
Thank you very much, and what a special day. I just want to say, you know, we have just so many great employees here at the City of Milwaukee and so many great Postal Service workers and everything else, but Mailman Mike really stands out. He is a huge shining star. He has had an enormously positive impact, and every single person who's ever met Mailman Mike has a story about him, and I'm sure Mailman Mike has a story about every single person he's met, because that's the kind of guy he is. He gets to know people. He, you know, wants to know what's going on, if there's, you know, good stuff happening, if there's stuff that needs some improvement, and he's always there for you. He's always looking out, and it's just so wonderful to have someone like him here in the city of Milwaukee, and the amount of good he's done is immeasurable. With that being said, I just want to share some stories. I've got plenty myself, and ever since I was quite young, Mailman Mike has been, you know, delivering my mail as well as many others in the community. But when I said that we're going to be doing this today, I had some people reach out, and I got a ton of stories in about how many lives he's touched and some personal anecdotes. But I wanted to share a couple, just share a few with everyone today. So I'm going to start with Hannah's. Hannah says, Mailman Mike has been a ray of sunshine in our family's life for 15 years. When our kids were born, he was our mail person, and he watched them grow and commented on their progress and change and checked on them. He even bought our son and our neighbor's son a Batman birthday card on their 3rd birthdays, which was the highlight of their year. He knows my elderly parents, and he stops by whenever he can to chat. He waves at us when we are driving down Humboldt. He recognizes our car and says hello. He keeps track of our kids' lives, even though we're no longer on the route. He reminds us daily of the kindness and openness and generosity that really makes a difference in the world. He will be dearly missed. Too many great stories to tell, so I'll just pick one. 13 years ago, I'd returned to my home with my 2 young boys to find that our house was broken into. Mike was doing his route, and he saw the police cars, and he immediately came in to check on us. After learning what happened, Mike sat with our boys in the front of our steps at our house while the detective spoke with me and made sure that our house was clear of the intruder. He knew he would delay completing his route, but that didn't matter to him. He kept my boys focused on him instead of the scary situation, and for that, I'll forever be grateful to him. I've always known River West to be a special place, and Mailman Mike has been an integral part of that. We love him so much. From Bonnie, Matt, Gabriel, and Ezra. Hello, I wanted to share a photo of Mailman Mike with one of his biggest fans, my son Ellis. One of Ellis's favorite part of the day is when Mailman Mike's van pulls onto our block. Mike has always taken the time to stop and speak with Ellis and to find out what's new in his little world, to let him marvel at the van, share the endless supply of rubber bands, and then to send him off with encouragement and advice to be a good guy and to be good to your mom. Thank you, Mailman Mike, for always taking the time to brighten Ellis's life in all of our days. From Lisa. And then, the picture didn't come out, unfortunately, but we'll get that to you. And a couple more here. Nancy says, Mike's retirement will leave a huge hole in the fabric of our neighborhood. We contend that Mike is the best carrier in the entire city. He knows all of us by name. He never fails to smile and wave and brighten our days, no matter what the weather is. Mike has notified us and others if he finds that we left keys in a door or if a pet escapes. We once noticed smoke coming from a basement in a window at a neighbor's house and alerted the fire department. He's a piece of our community that makes it a joy to live here. We wanted to know how much we love him and how much he has done for us over the years. He will never be forgotten, and we wish him the very best during a well-deserved retirement. Nancy and Ken. Last, we have Thalis, who is another fixture of the River West community. And Thalis says, back when I was just an octogenarian, I had suffered a fall that required hospitalization and rehab. Upon returning home with a walker and many aches and pains, Mailman Mike bought me a bottle of scented oil that he said had been very helpful to his mother's ailments, and he hoped it would provide me some relief. Much love, Thalis Drake. So, again, there's more of these, and I'm sure more coming in still, but just so many stories of how Mailman Mike has touched the lives of so many and just been an incredible beacon of good in a world when we really need that, a true hero, and tirelessly going in and out and completing his route, but also doing so in a way that makes everyone around him better and makes the world a better place for it. So I just want to, first of all, give a huge round of applause to Mailman Mike for his service. Also, we just want to hear some words for him, and we've got a proclamation here, and last but not least, before he says his words and we wrap up and get some photos with everyone, I want to make sure that everyone knows this is our kind of official Common Council recognition, but we're also going to have a big party for Mike at the River West Farmers Market on Sunday the 24th from 11 to 1. So I hope everyone can join us there. Again, Sunday 24th, 11 to 1, River West Farmers Market. With that.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm just a guy at work trying to have a good time every day. I really don't think I deserve all this. We got a lot of good teachers, a lot of good bus drivers, a lot of good crossing guards out there.
That's right.
I have to wake up every day and go to work, so my treat to me is to have a good day. And I think all of us in here are adults. I think we should hold ourselves to that. We have to live like the children are watching us. And when they think you cool, they're going to emulate you. So it's very important that you show the right example because they're sponges and they're going to soak it up. So if you put the wrong example in front of them, they're going to soak it up. I'm the youngest of 13. And if I can stand up here and do this, I'm sure it's a lot of other people in a lot better positions than I was growing up and is in now. That can show some examples to these children. You know, they really need us right now. We got to do something better. We want to talk about how they act, how they behave. I'm very fortunate that they think I'm cool and that I can talk to them. I only feed them a little bit at a time because if you give them too much, they're not going to listen. No one likes to be lectured. So it's just very important that we all kind of do our part, you know. Very important because we see the state of the world is in right now. And if we don't save these children, it's going to take care of us. And I also want to say hello to my granddaughter, Janiyah. Love you, sweetheart. Thanks for coming to see Grandpa.
All right.
And thanks a lot, everyone. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
we'll grab some pictures now.
Members, please join us for a picture.